Hi, I'm Mike Morales. You are watching Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media. I am here in San Antonio. That young man out there is...
Jim Johnston in Youngstown, Ohio.
And Jim, welcome to 2018. Our
Happy New
Sipping Off
Year.
the Cuff. Thanks for coming back after 2017.
Well, when they told me that they would keep sending tequila, I had to say yes. So here I am.
we had to twist his arm, ladies and gentlemen. We really did.
It was tough.
The
boxes will stop showing up. I guess I'll do it.
I had to fly out there, we had to wine and dine them and all that. No.
I put up a big fight. It was terrible.
We have no budget for that, ladies and gentlemen. But tonight, we are very grateful to have tonight a brand new, a very young brand, a startup brand called TC Craft Tequila. These folks are out of Nashville, Tennessee, if you can believe it. We really fell all over ourselves with the Blanco iteration. It was a Blanco that spoke to you. Jim hit it right on the head. I think you mentioned it was like a fresh from the garden agave. And what did they say about the agave? I know the information here that they sent to us. They said that this was a 9 years in the ground, is what they're saying.
Right, and the same family of humidors for like the sixth generation that have been providing agave to the distillery that they use. So this is a pretty tight operation from field to bottle. So,
well, speaking of the operation, I know I mentioned this briefly in the Blanco version, but we actually just to let you know where the distillery is and give you the gnome. We have written about this gnome on Tequila Aficionado in 2017. It's gnome 1533, and it's Vinos y Licores Azteca. And the reason I bring it up is not only did we write about the distillery, but it is a female-owned distillery and run and operated by a young lady named Meli Barajas. They make a handful. They're not a big maquiladora. Right. They don't make a whole lot of brands. They make a handful of them. One of them is another female-owned brand called Sino Tequila. For those of you who have had it or have seen it, and so proudly female-owned. And now the brand is owned by a couple of brothers, and it's
right.
Chad. It's Chad and Todd Butteroff. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And these two guys, I guess you read their background. They've been looking for a real good tequila for a long time.
They went in search of a good tequila, and when you got to do it right, you got to do it yourself, apparently, because that's what they decided to do. And if you go to the website, there's a lot of the history of how they got there on the website, but it seems like they had experience leading up to this, but they were looking for a craft tequila that really lived up to their standards, and something that I get the feeling something that they could also bring back home to Nashville and kind of make it, a local thing. So, and I just realized, and I've been looking at this, and it's going to be difficult to see, but if you see that there, I think they pen in the number and the initials on each one of these bottles.
Yeah, these are handwritten.
Because I've seen the handwriting on 3 or 4 of these bottles, and it's different on every one.
Yep. I got lot number 2. I'd imagine that the initials CTB are whomever was in charge of this particular batch.
That would be sure. Chad. That would be the brother Chad.
That would be Chad. Yeah, that's who that is.
Somebody
How cool is that?
Picked this bottle up and went like this. So
wow.
That is cool.
I love, again, we nominated them for not only Brand of Promise for the Blanco, but also for the packaging. I love this packaging. And this was, we actually, a gal, one of their brand ambassadors reached out to us on LinkedIn, and we waited a couple of months for this brand because they were rebranding. So this is the brand new iteration. I love it. I think it's really homey, and yet very tequila-like. I mean, it's not unlike some of the other labels that we've seen before.
it gives you the sense that, I mean, it feels a little bit like an American craft whiskey in the bottling, in that it is, you get a little hint of a craft kind of going away from the norm in an American whiskey, but it's definitely a bottle of tequila, and it's a nice looking bottle.
Yeah, very well done.
I think people would ask about this on my shelf.
Well, there you go. It's a synthetic cork, beautifully done. Nice little touches. I'm going to be using my jarrito, my Chisholm Trail jarrito that we're hoping Stossel, if you're watching.
Yeah, come on, guys.
Make this the original, the official tequila and mezcal glass. We'll see. You know.
And I'm using, basically, this is a Glencairn on a stem. It's just the same tulip shape, a little bit of a stem. So.
Yeah, that's an heirloom. Didn't you mention that was an heirloom for you?
One of the ones that I have is an heirloom, and that's been a long time in the family. The two I'm using now are from my friends in Ireland. I picked these up, some whiskey lads. So
that explains all the hits I'm getting from Tequila Aficionado is getting from Ireland. It's like all of a sudden I'm we have our reports come out daily, hourly. We can check on them whenever, and we see certain countries that don't belong there, like Moldavia.
Right.
That's just a hacker somewhere in Slovakia. But and all of a sudden we start to see more and more coming from Ireland, and I guess you have something to do with that.
I hope I have something to do with it. I'm hoping to establish some sort of trade mission there, so that I can go back and forth and just introduce tequila and bring back some whiskey.
Wow, look at you, a real brand ambassador, huh? Jeez. Now, this is the Reposado that we're tasting, and they, like I say, they're very nice to send us all this information. They even sent us a price list, but it's not going to do anybody much good because it's
unless you live in Tennessee.
Only in Tennessee at this point. Right. Even though we are filming this in 2017, you won't see this until 2018. So at the time of taping, it's only available in Tennessee, and so that's not to say
Nashville and the region.
Yes,
it looks like, yeah.
Now the Reposado, it says here, is aged 17 months. Wow. Aged in repurposed whiskey barrels for 17 months.
And as far as I know, staying true to their roots, it's Tennessee oak.
Well, hey, now this is where the brothers put their spin on it.
Right.
And
right.
And I'd imagine that they have a facility, or they have a way to acquire these types of specific barrels and ship them to the distillery to really acquire their flavor profile for their aged versions or aged expressions.
Right.
Oh wow! Holy cow!
It's big.
What is that? Oh my gosh!
It's a weird, and not in a bet, it's a weird smell. It's not what you expect from a Reposado.
It's sweet on the nose, but it's not like candy sweet. It's aromatic sweet, like an incense. Am I like off base somewhere?
No, like sandalwood.
Yeah.
It's like sandalwood incense.
Or like I want to say like a banana or a plantain, something. I don't even know if it's fruit, but I think it leans more towards spiciness.
Right. It's like I don't even know. I mean, like it's got. If you could smell a good agave scent with a little bit of like sandalwood smoke in the background of it. So basically, if you were drinking a good Blanco tequila in a dorm in the 70s, maybe this is what it smells like. I don't know if that's.
Hey, I don't know what that. Wait a minute! Don't laugh. Those are coming. Cannabis infused tequila. They're on their way.
Ooh.
Yeah, but you know,
Now I tell you, it does the same thing as the Blanco. It really is a there's not a lot of burn on the nose. It's a very manageable. You can take in a nice full breath of this.
but that sweetness is throwing me off because it's not the
Yeah.
common barrel sweetness or whiskey sweetness that I'm used to. It ain't Jack Daniels, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not getting any Jack out of this. I'm not.
Well,
not
and
sure
I'll tell
who
you
I'm
what,
getting.
I would wonder if it's the used whiskey barrel. If there's maybe a little element of a sour mash in this that gives it that little sweet sour hint on it, because there's just a little back end on the sweetness that's just got a little bit of a just ripe fruit.
Wow, this is really different.
Yeah, it's different. It's not bad different. It's different, but it is a unique.
Very.
No.
Okay, I gotta go in. I'm baffled.
Woo.
Hello.
Wow. Wow.
You're more of a other spirits kind of guy. Wild turkey, where does it fall? Initially, I've only had wild turkey once, and it was the high proof.
Well, then that's where you're spot on, because this has got the big upfront presence of a high proof bourbon.
Yeah, yeah. But would they use Tennessee? Technically, Tennessee has to be Tennessee whiskey,
Right.
right?
Right.
So bourbon would be from all the other states, the other.
Right, but in the same sense that either one of those whiskeys, American whiskey is good with ice. It's good because you've got a big, full, upfront kick on it, and this fits. But it's not a killer kick. It's not going to knock you down. It's
no, but it's warm. It's really
very warm.
That finish, holy cow! The nose threw me off.
And I tell you what, taste it and go back to the nose just by itself, and that smell is more pronounced.
Yes. Now it's even more woodsy than it was initially. The sweetness is almost I wouldn't say disappeared, but it's gone in the background.
Yeah, that barrel is present in this.
Yes. Wow. Well, they aged it a long time. That's 17 months is a long time for a reposado, because even some repos are only aged 8 months.
Right. I think a lot of the characteristics of the barrel came out in this, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if a little of that sour mash snuck in with the wood onto this. But it really is a big upfront, and it's clean though. It's a clean taste on that. So
this is beautiful because, and I'll tell you that having had more traditional aged tequilas, this one as a reposado, there are añejos that don't have this kind of character. This is a big reposado.
Yeah, and I think we spoke to the complexity of the Blanco. The amount of time they've given this in the barrel just takes this to the next level in terms of complexity and the depth of the flavor.
Wow, that's just another layer too, man. That's just now.
And I'll tell you, it doesn't look like it picked up too much more color for being in there the extra amount of time, but it certainly picked up a lot more flavor.
Yeah, the legs and tears are still very similar to what the Blanco had. Very, not super clingy, but very pretty, very nice legs and tears. It looks darker in the bottle. Actually, I wonder, is the bottle tinted?
I don't think the bottle is tinted, but I think when we get, it's just that you got a little bit of orange on the label here. That kind of looks like it's reflection coming through.
Yeah,
but it it's really just a deep, complex flavor on it, and it's warm all the way down, and I like the way that it interacts with the nose afterwards. You have a taste of it, then you can go back to get the nose a little bit. It develops as you're sipping it.
It does. It blooms and it gives that. It returns. It goes back in the background. You swirl a little bit more. It comes right back. See now, if I swirl it, I get more of the sweetness. Oh man, this thing. I'm having a conversation with this tequila.
Yeah.
Hey man, hands down, Brands of Promise nominee in the
I
Reposado
agree.
category.
I agree. I'm gonna have to find a cigar with this after we're done here.
That's exactly what I was
I
going to say.
think this is perfect for a cigar.
Yeah, it is. It is. There are añejos that don't have this kind of complexity. The other thing too is that oak heads, whether you're in Tennessee or when it travels outside the state, this is gonna knock them dead in Texas. That's all I can say.
Well,
wow.
It's certainly it's one of those that we've tasted a few reposados together, and this one is. I'm not going to compare it to the other ones. I believe this stands alone in that it's got so much of a unique nose and flavor to it, but it's a great uniqueness. It's good all the way through, and it's really big. And I think the sweetness and the little bit of barrel character that comes with this, obviously coming from the Blanco that was very verdant, this picks up some characteristics. I think you get a nice, good, medium to full body cigar. This stands up to it, complements it. Don't put much in this because it's going to throw it off completely. I think this needs to be by itself.
I do too. I think this is a sipping reposado. I mean, obviously, they were really nice enough to send us stuff like table tents. You'll probably see it in some of the better accounts in restaurants in Nashville and surrounding areas. So, don't hesitate to put it in a cocktail. But honestly, spend some time with it. If you're a real whiskey, or bourbon kind of guy or gal, and I bet this would be over a cube of ice, like you said. It might even or a drop of water. You might be real surprised how it reacts. We're taking these at room temp without any ice or additives, and we're having a great time with this tequila.
Yeah, this has the kind of body that I think opens up the same way a bourbon or a Tennessee whiskey would, and I think this is probably how they're doing so well getting around the state of Tennessee. This might be it, because this is the kind of thing that a bourbon guy or a sour mash guy would taste and think, this is it.
Yeah.
So this might be the way that they're making their way around a state like Tennessee, which
because you really got to charm. You got to really charm those folks, but I get it. I love it. Congratulations to both brothers, to Chad and Todd Boderoff. I hope I'm pronouncing your names right. Thank you again for sending us TC Craft Brand of Promise nominee in the Reposado category. But stick with us because we are going to go into the Añejo, which if this was an eye opener, I can't wait to try the Añejo because that's going to be
now I'm excited.
Yeah. Again, if you're watching us on YouTube or if you're listening to us on iTunes, don't forget to subscribe. Listen to us frequently throughout the year. Welcome to 2018. I'm Mike Morales here in San Antonio. That young man is
Jim Johnston in Youngstown, Ohio.
You've been watching Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media, all of our channels. But whatever you do, tomar sabiamente.
Sip wisely.